Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's good to see you. This is a reading for Twin Flame Divine Feminines, or if you don't resonate with that label, could just be for you if you're wanting to work with or balance feminine energies within yourself. So we're gonna get started. The reading today feels really soft and comfortable. I'm using all of my comfort decks is what I'm calling them. The decks that I feel the most comfortable with, perhaps very just familiar, or just the ones that are just really straightforward. This message feels really straightforward to me. So I'm going to try not to over explain, but I don't know, we'll just go through it. It just feels really soft, your energy, Divine Feminine. It's kind of like, okay, I'm not going to go through these, but I feel like you're in just this really lovely place here with this energy, the She of the Kruak, which is very Divine Feminine. It's like the receptive principle, the feminine energy. Just in general, I feel like you're very much embodying this, especially with the other cards that are coming out. The Ecstasis card and the Butterfly, which is all of your energy, which is really, really gorgeous and lovely. The Ecstasis card talks to me about just ecstasy and joy, but in a very soft way, if that makes sense, right? It's not like exuberant, although perhaps maybe you are also feeling that, like just ecstasy and joy, that kind of thing, but it feels more like I don't know how else to describe it, but soft, right? Just comfortable. It just feels like there's a really deep sort of acceptance in perhaps who you are, or where you are, or what it is that you're doing, that kind of thing. I'm not sure, I don't know. And then there's this other thing here, which is really interesting, coming out the feline, the lizard, and the crocodile, right? So this is all kind of it feels like this is an energy external to you, where it's kind of with the crocodile, I described this card as being sort of an energy that's lying in wait, especially with the lizard and the feline. This one talks about tying up loose ends. So there could be this energy around you where you're sort of tying up loose ends, or you're approaching the end of some sort of perhaps karmic contract or something like that with energies that are around you. And it's you have such a deep peace and acceptance of what this energy is, because it's kind of especially with these cards, these were at the bottom of the deck, these three cards, right? The Hermit, the Judgment card, and the Devil, right? So it's whatever this energy is, it feels like past or karmic, or just energies around you that perhaps you're not wanting to manifest, or that you're ready to leave behind. And it's kind of surrendering to the process of when and how that will occur, because it's kind of this is not within your control, right? It's there are energies around you that you're not wanting to associate with or manifest in your next chapter, kind of feels like. And it's just surrendering, because those are being tied up. The loose ends are being tied up. But there is perhaps just divine timing aspects that are coming into, it's just especially with these next cards coming out next, right? It's all of this bright energy compared to all of this blue energy, which is really interesting. So it's kind of this is around you, right? This energy is around you in your physical environment, perhaps, but it's it's not affecting your mood or your energy or your brightness or what it is that you're creating. It's it's just defying the obstacles that are around you is kind of how this is feeling, which is really gorgeous and lovely. And it's I feel there's this really interesting combination of holding steady, creating what it is that you're creating, but also with the Nine of Wands is having a lot of sort of boundaries between you and whatever this devil energy is around you. And it's a really strong combination, right? Because it's you don't want to be blocked off in terms of what it is that you're creating, because the She of the Karuak is the one that accepts and receives all, but you also don't want to let that whatever the devil energy is into that experience, if that makes sense. So this is sort of like protecting what it is that you're creating is kind of how I'm seeing this, which is really gorgeous. This is an interesting card too, the Muse of Emotions. I'll just talk about this quickly. So I had a dream about this card, but it was stained glass, which was really interesting. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but maybe it'll come out. It could be talking about the connection, especially because it's like the King of Water, King of Emotions, and they're back to back, right? So it feels like there's some aspect here. I've been talking about protection so much in the last couple of readings. There is a lot of protection happening for you, I feel. Divine Feminine. So we're going to get into the reading. We're starting off here with the spider, which I absolutely love, and the deer. So the deer, to me, it represents sort of like the mother or divine feminine energy. So this is your energy today. One of my favorite cards, I think. I say that literally about all the animal cards. Again, this is one of my favorite decks. It's so comfortable. And with this deer here, for the first, like, normally I see this card as being very, like, almost like on the paler green side, but for some reason, like, I was just really drawn to, like, the darker teal energies around. And that's matching sort of this combination of cards here, right? So it's kind of like, even though there's sort of darker or heavier energies around you, it's like you have this very strong focus that's almost like pushing it back, right? It's pushing back against the darkness or the uncertainty, especially with this card, the spider. Today I was seeing it in a really interesting way, where it was like, if you're familiar with these like kids crafts, where it's like you take crayons, like very colorful crayons, and you color in the entirety of like a blank paper, and then you cover the crayon sort of picture or whatever it is, or just colors, you cover it with black paint, and once the paint dries, it's like you take like a sharp pin or something, and you sort of trace out or remove parts of the black paint so that it reveals the colors underneath it. So I feel like for you, Divine Feminine, it's like if there's anything around you where it's feeling dark or uncertain, I feel like what it is that you're doing for your group is kind of how it's feeling like the ones around you, your family, friends, loved ones, that kind of thing. It's like you're taking sort of this darkness and like creating patterns or revealing the light colors that are underneath, if that makes sense. Like because with the spider, I often see this as being sort of like Charlotte's web. Like Charlotte is the spider that sort of weaves words of hope in her web, is kind of how this is feeling. So I feel like that's sort of what you're doing. It's like you're using your gifts and your skills and perhaps like this sort of higher perspective in order to help those around you to see the light in the darkness, that kind of thing. It's a very high priestess kind of energy, especially like these are both very divine feminine energies. And then of course you have the golden egg, which I really love because this talks about the heart chakra, right? The ones that are close to your heart. And the sun's just shining through as I hold up this card, which is lovely. But it's just talking about the ones that you love and care about are safe, absolutely. And I feel like for you, you're also creating a really soft and easy energy for the ones around you, is kind of how this is feeling. It's so interesting. It's like you're creating a very warm and soft and easy environment inside this nest, but at the same time, also putting up this like very strong boundary against anything that is not that, right? So it's a really interesting kind of like polarity, perhaps, is the right word. I don't know. Okay, anyways. For the fairies here, you have the Arval Parrot, which talks about communication, and the Tam the Poet. So I actually feel like this Tam the Poet is somebody else's energy, which I'm going to talk about in a second. I feel like because your energy here is the Bright Mother and the Green Woman. I love these two cards because these are very sort of embodied feminine energies, right? Like you're sort of the she of the Kruak who just accepts and receives and creates. Both of these are about creativity actually today. So I feel like, and it doesn't have to be like creating art, right? It's not just like about sort of like creating art or whatever it is. It's you're creating an environment or an energy that is very nurturing and allows for tons of growth is kind of how it's feeling. You're creating an environment that's very like fertile and allows people or other things or whatever it is, energies to grow, right? You nurture the ones around you or energies around you. And it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just it's so soft. It's all of this deer energy, right? It's like, it's all of this sort of like, I don't know how else to describe it because, so one interesting note about this card with the Bright Mother, sorry, I dropped a card, is that sometimes people can, when they see this card, they can think about their own mother, which can be sort of difficult because not all mothers are good is kind of the message that came through with this card from the book. But I feel like for you, Divine Feminine, it's like you are the Bright Mother is a good mother is kind of how this is feeling. I don't know where this is going. I feel like this is just talking about the fact that, first of all, I feel like even if you're not a mother or if you're not even physically female, or female presenting, it's kind of just like talking about your feminine energies are so nurturing, are so like loving others unconditionally, but also loving and nurturing yourself unconditionally. Like this Green Woman, I love this card because she's so playful. But it's also, like, this is how I feel when I'm, like, walking with my dog in the summertime. Like, it's just so free. There's no constraints on this one. It's like you're free to go, like, free to roam, free to create, free to, just be, is kind of how this is feeling. There's no restriction on your creativity or what it is that you're trying to create. There's absolutely no restriction. Anything that you want to do, you're able to do it, is kind of how this is feeling today. And I feel like with this energy, the Tam the Poet and the Arval Parrot, because these are both about sort of communication, I feel like there's this energy around you. The Tam Poet, because this one talks to me about someone who's waiting, right? So it could be that they're waiting for the right opportunity. They kind of wait at a distance before acting. It's also this kind of energy of like having a very serious kind of demeanor, but is very playful. So I don't know exactly who or what this is. It may be your counterpart, but it may also just be other energies around you. And it's kind of like, I feel like there's this like, perhaps you're not sure exactly what it is that they're trying to communicate. If this is your counterpart, I would take a look at the last Divine Masculine reading that I did, because that was I feel like there's something there about like the tone and then their actual energy is very different, right? Which is what that crocodile is kind of feeling like. That the tone, because the tone of the crocodile is very, almost like, it feels a bit ominous, but but then with the lizard, it's coming through as a bit more playful, right? So there's something here about there's like a difference or a mismatch between what's being presented to you and what they're actually feeling is kind of how this energy is coming through, especially with the Arval parrot. This feels kind of like, because this is talking about nonverbal communication, right? Like using sort of your intuitive senses to decipher the true meaning or the true communication, the real message or communication. So there's somebody in your environment that's perhaps at a distance to you, or just like perhaps even not speaking, especially with the crocodile. They're trying to communicate, or it doesn't even feel like they're trying to communicate. It feels like they're waiting perhaps for a right opportunity, but there's a mismatch between what they're presenting and what it is that they're actually feeling. But it feels like, regardless, Divine Feminine, it's almost like your back is turned, right? Your back is turned to them, especially with all of these cards that are coming out. With the 5 of Pentacles and the 8 of Pentacles, right? So your back is turned to them, right? You're focused on what it is that you're doing, and perhaps they're feeling out in the cold, or like just like not included in what it is that you're trying to create, or this energy, if it is. So I'm not sure if this is, I don't think this is your counterpart actually, but it could be. There could be an aspect of like your counterpart is in this energy, but there may also be sort of elements where there are other people in your environment, not your counterpart, who are also feeling this, where it's kind of like you're creating this energy of ease and manifestation, or just like creativity, productivity, like all of the things that you're creating. There's almost like this boundary between you and others, whoever these people are, right? Or whatever this thing is. But then they're also coming out here with the King of Pentacles versus you, the Queen of Pentacles, or the Queen of Swords. So it's both. It's like both of your, but here's the mismatch, right? Here's the mismatch. They're coming out, they're perhaps, I'm not sure which one is the presenting. It feels kind of like they're presenting themselves as the King of Pentacles, but really they are feeling out in the cold, or left out by you perhaps, or detached in some way. It's like they're seeing you as the Queen of Swords, right? Very much like having boundaries against or up like to them. And I feel like it's putting them in this energy, because you're the Empress, of course, and then the 7 of Cups, which is confusion, or like trying to decide how to approach, or what to say, or how to tackle especially with the Teom, the poet, right? They sort of wait for the right opportunity. So there could be something like that, while you're here perhaps unaware of it, or not focused on it, or something like that. And I feel like there is something coming up here, because you have the Devil card again, but this is sort of like what it is that is perhaps ahead for you. But how I'm seeing this, because it's not, I feel like it's not clear what that is. I have no idea what this energy is, but how I'm seeing it, because it came out with the Green Woman, it came out like this on the table. So the Green Woman, the story that comes out with this one is often like roots breaking through the concrete, right? The natural magic, the natural kind of, the natural world, or the natural true whatever energy will always overcome any sort of physical or devil-like energy, or the concrete, right? Something that's artificial or man-made. So that's how I'm seeing this Devil card, where it's kind of like you here, the Green Woman, are breaking through some sort of devil energy in up ahead is kind of how this is feeling. So it's like if you are going into this energy, it's breaking through that. So it's not anything to be concerned about. Because it kind of feels like there's this sense of, especially with the crocodile, it's like this sense of foreboding, right? Like it feels kind of like, because it's uncertainty, right? It's like there's darkness. It's not quite visible what it is that you're going into or what's ahead. But it's kind of like, because you're in this energy, which is so powerfully feminine. I don't know what that means. It's kind of just like you're able to break through whatever this potential blockage is by also maintaining sort of your sense of self and the ones that you're caring for. Like, all of them are protected while you are emerging from whatever challenge or whatever this thing is. And it's kind of like, I was trying to like ask what the devil energy is, whatever that is for you, but of course that's going to be specific for each of you. So it's kind of like how I'm just seeing it, or like the cards that came out were just the Fool, which is just talking about trust and surrender, especially with the Judgment coming out and the Hermit. It's like, just trust. I feel like you're in energy, or if you're not, it's like being asked to focus on trusting and surrendering and sort of letting go. Especially with these cards, the Eight of Swords, that I feel like you're not seeing exactly what's ahead, and that could be causing sort of anxiety or worry, but it's kind of just like, trust in your ability to get through whatever this challenge is ahead with sort of grace and playfulness, perhaps. Grace and playfulness. And it's like all of these ones here. The Queen of Cups. The last time I talked about this card, I kept saying Queen of Wands, and I wasn't clocking. So anyway, this is the Queen of Cups, which is just talking about, like, you put a wish out into the universe, you put your intentions out, and then you just surrender and you let it go. That's what this energy is. It's just asking you to surrender control over the situation of where it is that you're going, and just trusting that where it is you're being led is where you want to be going, right? With the Three of Wands, it's expecting your manifestations to come in with the Eight of Wands very quickly. So it kind of feels like there is this energy of uncertainty around you, but your energy feels so just calm and peaceful and accepting, and trusting and nurture. It's just such a pure divine feminine energy that I don't even have words to describe it. It's really lovely and calm. So I'm gonna end the message there. I'm gonna move to the extended. We're gonna talk about what else you may need to know about this situation. If you're interested in that, link for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me. If this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing, liking, or leaving a comment, and I will see you next time. Bye.